What's happening, plebs? Coming out with another update from the belated holiday gift that I did a video on yesterday. If some of you remember, Konami have actually given us a new FAQ relating to yesterday's article. So let's just go over some points and recap. Yesterday they released an article saying that, hey, 2017, this is the year of one of the most broken and strongest monsters we're going to print ever. In 2017, at least. I don't think they said ever, is coming, and it has no effect. It's blank here. Basically, a whole bunch of speculation came out. Long story short, some people thought it was going to be Momorat, some people thought it was going to be Zark, some people thought it would be the new pendulum. Sorry, not the new pendulum, the new summoning mechanic. A whole bunch of speculation came out. What could this new card be? It could be a TCG exclusive because we haven't seen it before, like a Spyro monster, a whole bunch of things. So let's kind of like put that aside and look at the FAQ and see how we can narrow it down. They basically said it's not a joke and they're not trolling us. And are you sure there's no image there? Because me, like other people, may have looked at it and went, what the fuck, there's no image, nothing's loading, what's going on? Is my browser broken? No, that was actually the joke, or the kind of point behind their blank thing, was to say it literally has no effect, but it's still going to be one of the strongest monsters of 2017. How is that possible? Who knows? Is this card a creation contest? Nope. Is the card friends we made along the way and our own imagination? Because some people speculated, well, the blank thing just means that they're trying to give duelists just a happy new year, Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and just a sort of sense of encouragement going forward to say, hey, the new card is basically your imagination. Good luck for 2017. Be creative, do your best, and hopefully you get far in Yu-Gi-Oh! That's not true, because they said it's a real card in Raging Tempest, so it has to be a real card. So automatically that removes that theory. It also removes the theory that it's Momorat or Zark, because they have effects. So it can't be those cards. And it would make sense for it to be cards we know. It can't be cards that exist currently, because it doesn't make sense to hype up cards that we know exist. Like, why would they make 2 days of blog posts for a card we've seen replays of on DevPro like 3,000 times? Like, we know what Zodiac does. We know it's coming. We know it's gonna shit on the meta. We know the impact it's having. So why make a post about hyping up the community from shit we already know? It's like, is Konami bored? Are they lazy? Do they run out of content? No, I don't think that's the case. So it can't be that. Why can't I find this card anywhere on the internet? You can technically find it in yesterday's article because it doesn't have an effect. Haha, no blank space, lol, XD. The reason that is because it doesn't exist yet. It won't until the sneak peeks on February 4th and 5th. This card doesn't exist yet. It can't be Momorat, it can't be Zark, it can't be the new summoning mechanic. Summoning mechanics usually come in structure decks. That's generally the pattern, I believe. So what does this narrow it down to? I thought it would be something like a TCG exclusive, because like I said, they wouldn't hype up cards we already know, so it can't be Momorat. So it has to be something like a Spiral exclusive. It has to be something like Curry Bandit, I thought. Curry Bandit was a TCG exclusive card that came out in Dragons and Legends. I think it was TCG exclusive, correct me if I'm wrong. But basically, it was a TCG exclusive card, I think, that was generic. You could splash it in many decks. You could play it in Hat. You could play it in Burning Abyss. You could play it in Shaddoll. You could play it in Burning Abyss Shaddoll. You could play it in Sylvans. It was just a really generic, good, splashable card. So we thought maybe it'd be something like that. Well, it doesn't have an effect, so it can't be that. So what does the monster do? They say nothing, as indicated by its effects text being a big blank space with nothing in it. It doesn't have an effect. Do you really expect us to believe that a monster that does nothing can be one of the strongest monsters of 2017? And then they give the example of Metal Foes, saying it defines the format, yet those monsters have no effect. Clifford's, for example, most of them are, the good one at least, is Scout. That doesn't have an effect. So, chances are, is a vanilla pendulum. Blue Eyes is another example they gave. It's a vanilla monster. It definitely defined part of a format at least sometime last year. Did what, won Worlds, so, you know, is Blue Eyes, is it something like that, just a vanilla beat stick? Well, I don't think it can be a straight up vanilla card, because Blue Eyes is only quote unquote good because of the cards around it. Blue Eyes is only good because of Trade-In, because of Spirit Dragon, because of Melody, because of Alternative Dragon, which requires you to have a Blue Eyes in hand, and White Stone, Ancient Stone. Blue Eyes is quote unquote good because of the cards around it, so it can't be a standalone vanilla card, because then it would need a whole archetype dedicated to it to make that one vanilla card good. Kind of like sort of like Evil Swarm with Heliotrope. Like Heliotrope wasn't really good, but like you had Rescue Rabbit and like you could Pandemic and it made Ophion. Yeah, that's the closest thing I can think of to a quote-unquote good vanilla deck. Like that Dino Rabbit deck as well had vanillas in it. The vanillas weren't good, it's because it made Lagia, that's why it was good. So it can't be a generic something like that. It has to be something that would be meta-defining, something like Master Pendulum. That rings a bell. Because Master Pendulum was a card that you could pop Ariadne with to trigger, you could pop your opponent's scales, you could contact fuse it to make a really good boss monster to fill up your extra deck, and it was big, it was 1950, it was a good level, you could overlay with it, it was a good number of scales, level 3, and it was, you could summon it with Unexpected Die. It was just a really great card, one of the best vanilla monsters ever, right? It has to be. So it could be something like that, so that brings out the theory. You know, it just has to be a vanilla Pendulum monster. Some people came out with the speculation. Some of my friends suggested it would be the new Bujin card. For those of you who don't know, there is a Bujin card coming, or at least exists somewhere, of a Bujin card that has no effect, but is a Pendulum effect, and the Pendulum scale effect's actually really good. Not for Bujin, surprisingly. You can play it in other decks, I think. So yeah, it has to be a vanilla Pendulum deck. That's just my thoughts on it. My prediction is it has to be something like Master Pendulum and better. It has to be like special a Pendulum, any Pendulum monster out of your deck. Like that's how good it is. Like that's how I think it has to be for it to be good, for it to be quote unquote the best 2017 monster. If it's gonna compete with Momorat, it has to be literally just special a Pendulum monster out of your deck for free. Or special like 2 Pendulum monsters out your deck for free and negate their effects or something like that. I don't know, something really crazy like that, basically. So that's my prediction, and it also has to have a scale number of like 0 or like 10. That's another prediction. So yeah, that's what I think. I've narrowed it down. I've kind of like gone on to like sort of prove why it can't be Momorat or Zark or the new summoning mechanic or Spiral exclusive, for example. It just simply can't be any of these things based on this FAQ. So yeah, for anyone wondering as well, I don't have like beef with anyone over this. Some people thought me and Cap G's, for example, discussion got a little bit heated. Like, we just want to know what the card is, you know. We're just trying to like have a discussion and find out what we're getting, and we're getting it on January 24th. So let me know what you guys think down below. I think it's probably my prediction, vanilla Pendulum monster. I'd like to hear what you guys think. So yeah, signing out.